Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the M53 M55, the Tier 9 American SPG. This one's on the northeast spawn of Glacier, under the command of Duck and Run. Well, game started. Now he's got the 8-inch howitzer on the gun, on the Arty, and I know that because the barrel doesn't extend over the front of the vehicle. If it did extend over the front, that would be the 155mm gun. He's capable of 1050 alpha, penetrating 52mm of armour, and he's got a burst radius of 11.1 meters. As you can see, he's setting up nicely amongst the trees, getting ready for the enemy. Okay. Well, he's got a few targets to shoot at. In fact, he's got a lot of targets to shoot at, mainly because his scouts have actually found the enemy very quickly, and the first thing they've spotted is a Conqueror. That's a direct hit. No explosions, so we know he struck him, but it was the rear end of a Conqueror, so he probably hasn't done a full alpha hit. It's probably a minor one, but he's now got a 31.97 second reload. Well, nearest damn it 32 seconds, and we've got some heavy duty targets making their way over to the northwest corner, and I think he's going to try and have a go at that Jaeger if he loads in time, and I think he will. Rounds out. Might be a bit late, that. Right into the rear of the thing. He actually timed it perfectly. I thought it would be a bit late and it might just miss the end of the vehicle, but he actually got it smack on. And it hit the rear of the vehicle where the armour is less strong. Okay, he's got to wait for the reload now. 704 spotted up on the heights. It's a tier 10 game with tier 9 tanks in it. He's loaded. Rounds out in the 704. He worked out the track of the vehicle. The shell impacted where the 704 was last seen, so I suspect he did damage him. He's now looking at a 277 on the centre. A lot of good Arty players, what they tend to do is they tend to work out where the enemy's going to go. They watch the target to see what their behaviour is, so they can predict exactly what they're going to do next. And once they know what the tank's going to do next, then they can anticipate it, lay the shell across their path, and then hit them. Well, there's the 277 again. He's pulling back after having a look. Rounds out, lands right in front of him. He didn't get that one bang on target, but as he knew the thing was pulling back, he could have laid the shell behind him, so he just drove back into it. That Cranvarn's just killed an Emil 2 on our team, unfortunately. He's probably pulling back to reload his clip at this moment. The 277's come up to the centre line again. You see, when tanks do things which you can predict, such as coming up to a centre line, you can anticipate their approach. That was a direct hit there on the VK. It looked like the shell overshot, but it actually did hit the rear of the vehicle. Ooh, now that E5 may have made a big mistake there, bitten off more than he could chew, because he came around the corner and now he's got to pull back, facing fire from other vehicles, and yes, he has gone. Now he's trying to work out which direction the pattern's going. He's gone forward, rounds out and lands directly behind him, but tracks him and now puts him in the path. The Jaeger from one direction, and of course the standard B shot him in the ass from the other direction. So there's a kill. In the meantime, we've got a Centurion 7 who's been forced to go down the cliff edge there to avoid being shot at by our guys. And there's another Centurion falling off the edge there to avoid the tortoise. I'm not so sure that Duck and Run can get a shell into that corner. And if he does at the moment, he'll probably only stun those guys. Oh, the Object 430U's gone in there as well after them. Now, if he does fire in at the moment, he'd stun all three of them, but he might lose any opportunity for a high caliber. The Object 277's come over the centre line, going after the RU-251. He's rammed him. Oh, and the 251's taken a lot of damage. If he dies, then yes, Duck and Run fires the round in to avoid damaging his own teammates. Which, of course, he can't do team damage, but obviously he would ruin his chances of getting a high caliber if he did. You have to think of those things now, because Wargaming has switched off team damage, but they haven't switched off the ability to negate a high caliber. If you attack or would have damaged your own teammates with a shot now, that's in the past, but now you can't because of team damage has been taken out, then you just lose the ability to get a high caliber. And we've had this proven on numerous occasions. 704 dies to a shot from a Heshbon. VK just took a huge hit, and another one came in from the 277, and he's out the game. Meanwhile, we've got this Object 277 in the pass leading up to the aircraft carrier. There's nothing much we can do about that, but there are still 7 enemies out there, 2 of which are up on the carrier, and there's a Kramvan around somewhere, a Centurion 7-1. We lost the 430U who went down to have that tussle with the Centurion 7-1. There's the Kramvan. Rounds out. It hit the rear. Landed just behind him. 379 hit points. And he's stunned, and well, we're picking up stun assist, or rather duck and run is. There's the Centurion 7-1. He's come back up, and he's now facing the Tortoise. And that's the end of him, because the Tortoise is able to take him out. The enemy Jaegeru is trying to get outside the northwest corner, but he can't at the moment because there's a T-54E1 blocking him and an IS-7 up on top of the aircraft carrier. He's trying to get hold of that Conqueror. I think he's thinking about the Conqueror, but he obviously wants to stop the Jaegeru from coming out. Kramvan just gets stunned there. Ridgelines can be terribly difficult because you've got a much narrower target to hit. Okay, he's going to try and do this carefully. He's aiming for just on the tracks of the vehicle. Oh, and the Kramvan's killed by the 277. There's the enemy Jaeger again. And this time around you should be able to get a shot at him. He's gone to battle assistant, which is easier for these sort of shots. He lands that one just in front of him. We're only 1 tank ahead of the enemy at the moment. 5 against 4. Okay, he's loaded. The Conqueror's having a fight with the IS-7 up on the carrier. He fires around into the corner, anticipating this is where the enemy Arty is. The enemy Arty is a 212A, the Soviet Tier 9. I haven't seen any traces from this corner, but that might be because the 212A is not shooting at the moment. Oh, there he is! Just saw the tracer and he suddenly appeared. And there he goes. He's actually killed by the Tortoise. So he was looking in the right direction. There's the T-110E3. Just had a go at the Tortoise. Now we can lay around in there, but we've just got a few more seconds to wait. Now he might try to hug that rock face to avoid shells. I think he's near that felled tree at the moment. That's why the Tortoise can't see him. There's a slight depression in the ground there as well, which makes it difficult to spot the enemy. Only 2 enemies left now. The Jaegeru on the enemy team and the T-110E3. Jaegeru being up in the northwest corner, as far as we know. The FV4005 is looking for him. It might be that he's actually retreated back to his own cap area. And he might be about to come up on that Object 277 shortly. He was heading that way. and now he's turned around and come back because of the the Heshbon, and he's taken him out, which now means that it's 3 versus 2. Okay, we've got a direct shot on the... Oh no, we haven't got a direct shot on him because we've got a red line. So I'm afraid there is an obstruction in the way, and I think it's the ice bridge that's causing that obstruction. Going back to the E3. 277's coming in. He's fired a round in. That must have been near him. The best thing for duck and run is to relocate to a position where he can cover both the cap and still fire into that corner. The E3 has been spotted. He actually managed to make it out of that corridor, and the 277 is now confronting him. Okay, can he land around behind him? It just takes a little while to dial in. Oh, the 277's been taken out by the Jaeger, and duck and run fires around in it, just not close enough. He anticipated the E3 coming around the corner, and now it's 2 versus 2. Well, at least he knows that the enemy Jaeger is not coming to get him. But the problem is that now the Tortoise is facing both a Jaeger and an E3. So I have the feeling Duck and Run's going to try and shoot from using the spots from the Tortoise to try and take them out. I'd be very surprised if they try to make it over this way to Cap, but if they do, it won't be difficult for Duck and Run to get shots on them to reset whilst the Tortoise caps. He's in a bit of a prominent position. If they did come this way, they would see him the moment they got up the rise, but it's going to take them a long while to come in this direction. Well, we can see the E3. See the Tortoise is very badly damaged. Well, he's fluffed his shot, and that will give Duck and Run another chance. His first round landed quite long. He needs to land a round on the rear of that E3, and he might be able to knock some of the hit points off him. I'm a bit concerned though that we can't see the Jaeger. Oh! Was that the Jaeger? Rounds out in the E3. Direct hit, 424, good hit. I don't think the E3 can get up there without the Tortoise blocking him. And that was the 2-minute warning. The fact that the Jaeger is not getting involved makes me think, oh, he's been spotted! Duck and Run's been spotted by the Jaeger. He needs to move quick. So the Jaeger is in close proximity. It was quite a prominent position that he was in, Duck and Run. Unfortunately, it now means that we've lost the Tortoise, and it's him facing 2 tank destroyers, but there's not enough time for them to cap on their own, and I don't think that the E3 can make it all the way over to his cap to join the Jaeger. So even if the Jaeger were to cap, it would have no significance, and I think they're both looking to try and kill him. So the best thing that Duck and Run can do is hide until the clock's run out. It might be a bit risky going into this little corner here, just in case somebody down below spots him. I very much doubt that the enemy will get up here in time. 5 seconds. That's it. It's a draw. But a very worthy draw. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. Well, it's the first class tank for duck and run in the M53, M55. He got a bruise medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In this one, he managed to get 12. He also got a Confederate medal for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. In fact, he didn't get a single kill in the game, but he did hit a lot of the enemy. If we look at the team scores, we can see that the highest amount of damage was done by duck and run. 3,550 hit points of damage. Next high scorer being the Jaegeru on the enemy team with 3,419. And after that, the Cramfarm with 3,367. When it came to kills, it was actually shared between the Object 277, the Tortoise, and the Jaegeru. All had 3 kills. And then the Heshbarn, the Prototype Standard B, the Cramfarm, and 704 all had 2 kills. When it came to base XP, it was the Tortoise who did the best with 670. Then Duck and Run with 620. And finally, that Cramfarm on the enemy team with 585. Duck and Run fired 17 rounds in that game, got 5 direct hits, no penetration, 14 splash. Damage of 3,550 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. He damaged 8 of the enemy, didn't get any kills, but he did get 2,341 hit points of stun assist off 14 stuns. On a free-to-play account, he earned 34,899 credits, got 3,725 from the Achievements Award, and his total 38,624. After ammunition resupply, he only made a small profit, but it was a profit of 6,834 credits. He also received 620 base XP, 378 for the Achievements Award again, and 998 altogether. So, yeah, sad that it was a draw because they were doing so well. They had the enemy outnumbered, but unfortunately the enemy did have 2 good tank destroyers who were able to turn the tables. And in the end, it was lucky that he didn't get killed the moment he was spotted by the Jaegeru, who must have been on his way over to the cap. And because obviously we never saw him, but he definitely saw Duck and Run. Duck and Run doesn't have a very good view range, I'm afraid. Most Artys don't. But the Jaegeru obviously did on that occasion, and that enabled him to to see Duck and Run first. But he obviously wasn't able to get his gun to bear before Duck and Run could dive out of there. The moment your sixth sense goes off, if you're in an Arty, you move or you die. And it's as simple as that. So if you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like and do subscribe to our channel, please. And thanks for watching.